Hello and welcome back to Bube Trader. Today we will review the we have the weekly review of the US indices, the ETF, oil, dollar, gold, lumber, and 20 years TLT ETF. All right, so first we will start with S&P 500. All right, so I was when I was here last week, when they say right here we have two paths. One is from here we bounce to 6550, right? Or we come down and then we bounce. And from what we see here, it actually bounced to, a pullback to 6350. Sorry, it's 63. And then bounce. So we off by about 13 points. And then it bounced. Guess where it bounced? If you look at, it's hard to see, but here is bound to 6530. So now it's off by 20. Even though that this did not get hit right away, but after the pullback and then bounce, it's actually bounced higher than what I expected. I would expect it to bounce up maybe to 6430 something. But it bounced much higher, right? Okay, so now, as a rule of thumb, we try to remove everything and start from scratch. Well, what I'm gonna, sorry. So, we can see that it's still, is still moving along this orange line and bounce from this support green line in a way right here. Okay. So what's next? Short term and long term are still very overbought. So this will be a little bit tricky. Look like it did set the all-time high, but after that it pulled back, so it's a little bit weak, and right now it is basically the trend support but become the resistance after it went under. So now it's testing it. So I would say there's about 40% you're gonna bounce again to 6600, but 60% we might have a pullback again, where probably to 6380, 6375, and then it might bounce a little bit. Okay, so I'm thinking we may have a pullback again. You can see that going toward September, we have a little more volatility, and look like the trend is going sideways now instead of up. From here you can see it keeps going up, but here it's going sideways. So we just have to look for it. So 6600 would be the new high, or will pull back, but most likely it will pull back to 63, 75, 72, something like that. And then it bounces a little bit, or it might come down and test this low at 62.35 or 62.25. All right, so we will have to see, but that we will check back in about a week to 62.25. Okay. SPY, well, you can see same deal. I expect a pullback and then bounce and pullback. So we got the pullback to 635 and then bounce, and you know, same thing, it hit the trend resistance. I mean trend support, but it turned the stock resistance. So I expect is also pull back again, and maybe this time it will go down to 621. So a little bit lower. Okay, and then bounce a little bit. Okay, otherwise, if any other good news coming up, it may go up to 666. Right. So we want to see what's going on. And we'll check in a week to see how it goes. NASDAQ, same thing, pull back. I expected to pull back to here, but it bounce, pull back here and then bounce up, and then it pull up, but then pull back a little bit right at the same point as S&P 500. So again, okay, so this time you can see this low is lower than this low. Even this high is up more than this high, but if this time it come down here or lower, then we will have a trend change, and my look like it will play out this time for NASDAQ. Okay, so pretty much the same for QQQ as NASDAQ. So we're gonna go like this, and then I got this. Okay. Same thing, almost exact setup. But NASDAQ and QQQ is a little bit weaker compared to S&P 500 and SPY. So still more downside to go for these. Unless, remember, this is a game of probability. I'm just guessing here, and maybe something else come up and we might see all-time high again. Okay. Dow Jones. All right, so you see this green line, right? This was from last week here. I said, okay, most likely will come down to 4,500 and then bounce. So it did again. What do we see here? It's a bit interesting because you can see for the past almost 1, 2, 3, 4. So the 2 weeks, it stayed at the same level. It couldn't pass 45,655. It went up to 45,762, but it always pulled back. All right. So it might be the top for Dow Jones. So again, it will come down, but I think, okay, this I'm thinking, it might come down to here as 44,800 0.17. Okay, pull back up here to the green line to test, and then pull down higher, lower to 44,400 to close this gap. All right, so this time it might happen. I don't know how, but that's what I'm thinking is gonna happen. But if I zoom out, it's still okay. Except for here, it was a little bit like a bull flag here. Okay, if I draw, oops, sorry. So if I draw this, almost like a bull flag, but it seemed to be a bit weak. Here you got a bull flag here, and it jump. See that? But here you got another bull flag, a smaller bull flag, but it didn't. So most likely, like over here till you see that, you got a bull flag here, and it's kind of like go up, but it couldn't, so it pulled back down. So I'm thinking it's gonna play out similar to this setup over here. So we just have to see, check back next week and see how it played out. Russell 2000 IWM, it actually did set up, oh wait, no, I thought it was making all-time high, but doesn't look like it. Last was 244. And you got, okay, so here I say, okay, look like it's gonna pull back to about 230, so it went down 232, 231. So it was pretty close and it bounced. And then I expect a pullback. So same thing over bought short term and long term. So just like the other one, I do expect a pullback again. This time probably down to here at 228. Then the bounce up, and then it's gonna come down to 221 this time. All right, so we will see how it is. What interesting here in this setup. You can see here it got a bull flag as well, right? Look, boom. And then you see it bounce, not like in the Dow Jones chart. It did not. Oh, this is still hopeful. It might. There is a small chance. I would say about 30%. It's gonna come up here and then pull back. Probably here. Okay. So we have to watch because of the bull flag. It might help it, especially the smaller stock, to have another push before pull back down. So this is an interesting setup that we need to keep an eye on. All right, crude oil. All right, so I expected this was a little bit before when I look over here. So I expect a bounce and then pull back. I expected to go up to 68, 67 something, and then I put 68 and then pull back. But it pulled back even more. It went up to 66 and then pulled back almost back here. Well, again, let's take out these and then we can check to see what's going on with the setup. Okay, so look like the trend changed a little bit. All right, so if I okay, okay, so if I use this trend, we have this wedge here, okay, and is closer to the support, okay. But if I use this, it's about midway, so it might have a smaller support here, but there's still a little bit of chance of a little bit more pullback to 60, and then I expect a bounce probably to 63 or something. So we have to see how it is. It might come down to 60 now. All right, so if we look at oil longer term, is it right at the low of 21, 22, 23? So look like it so it's like it's bottoming right now. Okay, it might come down even down to 55, but if it does, it will be bounce again, and we will see how it goes. It you never know, because if you look at this, it was minus 30 something, 40, right? So never say never to anything. You have to expect the unexpected. And right now, with all the layoffs and everything, it might slow down the whole world, right? And that means oil might even come out lower. We don't know. But if it does, 55 is the next level. And then I would say next would be 42. Yeah. So we want to see how it's going to play out. And it didn't really go much for the past year or so. The range was about 80 to 56. So right now it's still at the lower range. Dollar. It's over, so short term and long term. And if we look at about 3 years from now, I mean before, it is right near at the bottom. Okay, so what's going on here? Okay, so it looks to me that it broke out here, came back, bounced a little bit, broke. I mean, coming back down to test 97. So this will be an interesting play. So we might coming up to 99. Okay, we might come back. The dollar might come back a little bit and then bounce higher. Okay, that's one path. Another path is, you can see the green line here. Where is it? It went all the way from 21 to the low of July. So we might have a bottom for a current trend at around 96. So it might come down here to 96 something, 97, and then bounce again. All right. So look like it will have a big move this way down, or a breakout. But for me, I'm thinking more of a breakout because a lot of people short the dollar at the moment. So if there's any movement, the short squeeze will happen, and boom, dollar will go up. Because not many other countries, they want dollar to be strong. And especially US, because if it's too strong, everything else will be affected. And a lot of fund, they short the dollar, they have a short squeeze, they have to cover, and because of that, it might shoot up even higher and cause a market a huge drawdown if that happened. All right, gold. So gold, I think it was here when I looked at gold the last time, maybe 3-4 days ago. I say, oh, maybe it's gonna come down to test the support here and then bounce to 36, but it's actually bounced to 36 something, and I think next it will coming back to test the orange line. Okay, so we might have something like this. So either come down here and bounce, or come down here and then go lower. Okay. So we still don't know much what it's gonna do. Right now, too many people starting to go to gold. What I'm thinking is when that happens, it will go lower. We will see too many people into a trade. Usually that's this the time when it go the other way. Right now you can see weekly and daily is really overbought right now. So most likely gonna pull back. Okay, so lumber. Lumber last time, last week I talked about the bear flag and it pulled to here. So I say most likely we will have a little bit more downside to go, and we will hit 538. Okay, so I say from here, this is the support kind of. So I say, oh, it might come up to 580, or it's gonna pull down a little bit, then bounce. Now let's take a look. Okay, so it came down all the way down to 517, and then kind of close here at 524. 524, you can see over here there's a lot of support. Okay, a lot of support. So most likely, and then after that it bounced up to 538 and closed the day on Friday 535. So right at where we predicted. All right, so what's now? The problem is it's actually have another bear flag. Okay, sorry for today drawing. I'm not really good at today for some weird reason. But yeah, let me try my best. So look like it, man. Maybe the mouse is having low battery. Okay, but you see what I mean. Look like it got a little bit bear flag here, so hopefully it won't go down too much. But you can see from, so let's do a quick measurement. 25% drop within about a month and a half. Right? So yeah, that's about a little over a month. So maybe like 5 weeks. That's a huge drop. So of course I think we may have a bounce. Okay. Oh, and I want to use this opportunity to show you guys. All right, so you see this, right? This gap up here, and then go up again here, and a gap again, go up. You see what happened? This gap, it got close over here, and then it went lower, and then close the gap right here. So this is a little bit of more advanced level when you see gap. They're like this, for example, from here gap down. Okay, and then from here gap down again. And this candle fill the gap right here. And this move from here close the gap right here and right here. So basically every gap that you see, one day it will come back and close it, either up or down. All right, so that's just a reminder. All right, so let's get back. So here, most likely we have a bounce up here, come back down to the green line again, and this time maybe bouncing up here. Okay, so my prediction, that's what gonna happen. It really doesn't go down straight line for too long, but you just never know. Okay, TLT. So it's still bouncing along the way. All right, so you see when it was here, I expected to bounce up to the orange line at about 89. And guess what happened? It gapped down a little bit and boom, broke back into the channel and hit the resistance right away. Well, you can see my next arrow pointing down. So next is, I'm expecting it will do this, or maybe a little bit more like this. All right, unless, here's the thing, what if the Fed cut rate, it may come up to 90. And then what's the next? Okay, so if it's break 90, the next level will be 93, 94. So we will see how it works. If the Fed cut rate, it's gonna come up. All right, thanks everybody for watching. Please hit a like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next video.